stand right here. Wait till we get everybody together. Hey, babe, how you doing? Hello there. Right. They're gonna move them. Just stay up here. They're gonna move the gate. Yeah, just move over to the side.
Council President, we want you right on the other side of the back.
Ryan and say, oh, they're here? Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
It's good, Joe? Let me start by saying good morning to everyone. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for being here on today. I am pleased to be joined by our Philadelphia City Council President and my partner, Council Member and President Kenyatta Johnson, our NBA Commissioner, Adam Silver. I don't know where the technology is set up over here. Thank you so very much, Commissioner, for making this adjustment to your schedule to be here. We have Chairman of 76 DevCo and the lead negotiator for 76th Place, David Edelman. We have the founder and managing general partner of Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, HBSE, and managing partner of the Sixers, Josh Harris. I've been also informed that David Blitzer is here, and I am grateful for that. Thank you, along with John Middleton from the Phillies. John, where are you? Why don't you come on up here with us, John? John, you're the battery whisperer. You have to come up here. I am also very pleased that the chairman and CEO of the Comcast Corporation, Brian Roberts, he's with us here on today. Thank you, Brian. And long-time WNBA advocates, Alex and Wanda Sykes, Starla Crandall, and Ashley Lunkenheimer, women who I've been in the vineyard for a bit with, and it's an honor and a privilege to have you here with us. Listen, we are all gathered here together on today and in unity. That's important for me to affirm. To formally announce that something long desired and exciting is happening in our great city of Philadelphia. It is unprecedented, and it has the potential to benefit our city for generations to come. Now, while we are going to ask the principals to provide the specifics of the framework that they're going to explain on today, we want to just generally say to you that the revitalization of our historic East Market commercial quarter is essential. The building of a new state-of-the-art arena for the Sixers is essential. And also the potential for that WNBA team. It is essential. And you heard me, John Middleton. What's the owner of the Braves that who you had lead that tour, you and Comcast? What's his name, bro?
Terry McGurk.
Terry McGurk. That battery you've been hearing me whisper about is potentially a possibility. So I want to kick this off with us hearing from Adam Silver, who is the commissioner for the NBA. Adam Silver.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Mayor Parker, as well as Governor Shapiro, for your leadership in making this announcement today possible. And to my friends who are there from Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment and Comcast, especially Josh Harris, David Blitzer, and Brian Roberts, thank you for your very intense involvement and willingness to partner together on this exciting development. Mayor Parker, as you well know, this past July, you came to New York and met with me at the NBA offices, and you made your goals crystal clear. You told me that in addition to ensuring that the 76ers continued to play in a world-class arena in Philadelphia, you expressed a strong desire to bring a WNBA team to the city, and I'm pleased to hear that several of our WNBA supporters are with you all today. You also told me that you wanted to ensure that the economic benefits of a new arena were far greater than basketball and hockey games. Madam Mayor, I believe today's news hits on all of those objectives. I have no doubt that the team from Harris Blitzer Sports and Comcast are going to build a truly special facility. I've seen firsthand how vital cutting-edge arenas are to our cities. They create local jobs, they spur local businesses, and most of all, and probably most importantly, they bring people together like almost nothing else can. This new collaboration will result in real tangible benefits for the people of Philadelphia, not just with the construction of a new arena, but immediately as the 76ers and Comcast are now partners in the current Wells Fargo Center. And to that end, I'm truly excited that Comcast will now be partnering with the 76ers in their bid to bring a WNBA team to Philly. Thank you very much, Mayor, for this opportunity to address everyone today.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Commissioner Silver, for one. And again, I want to state for the record, he adjusted his schedule to be here on today. I know, Commissioner, you cannot stay with us throughout the entire presser, but I do clearly want to say thank you for your participation, and we do look forward to working with you in the future. We are now going to hear from, and everyone's salivating. You're going to hear from Council President Johnson and I. We're going to talk about, right, the issue at hand. But it was extremely important to us that this collaboration and partnership, that we give you the opportunity to hear about what it actually means and what it could realize for Philadelphia. And then we will go back in a bit to just travel through our journey. But ultimately, I need each and every one of you to know that this is about a win, 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 win for Philadelphia here on today. And with that being said, I want to ask David Adelman, who is the chair of the 76 DevCo, and who was also the lead negotiator on behalf of the Sixers throughout this process, to now come forward and say a few words. David, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council President. And thank you, Commissioner Silver, for taking the time. So, I'm sure it seems confusing that one day we are celebrating City Council approving legislation for Market East Arena, and a month later we're here celebrating a new arena to keep the Sixers in the sports complex in South Philly. Though plans have changed, the one thing that has not changed is our commitment to do something good for the Sixers, our fans, and most importantly, our city. Throughout this process, we learned a few things. We learned that our mayor and our city council took the time to thoughtfully consider the impact of this development and how it would impact the future of our city. We learned that amazing things can happen when business, community, organized labor, see Ryan behind me, work together. And we learned that no matter how careful and thoughtful we are, there will always be opposing ideas and a desire to maintain the status quo. That is not something I or any of my partners take for granted. We are deeply grateful. Thank you to my partners, Josh and David, for trusting me to lead this effort. We also learned that Market East, which was once an essential business hub for the city, needs a better future. While our arena will be built in South Philadelphia, the Sixers and Comcast are now partnering, and fully committed to revitalizing the once great Market East Corridor. Thank you to our new partners, Brian and Dan. I don't think there's anyone more surprised than me that we're standing together today than me. But having been on the opposite team the past couple of years, I can say that being on the same team is a much better feeling. I'm proud that we've established this partnership, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the personal and professional sacrifices made by many. Mayor Parker, thank you for your leadership in being a tireless champion for the city. Governor Shapiro, who has always supported the Sixers, thank you, Governor. Council President Johnson, who worked tirelessly with his members to ensure the passage of the arena legislation in the City Council of Philadelphia. Thank you, President Johnson. Councilmember Mark Squilla, whose district Market East lies in. Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson. Majority Whip Isaiah Thomas, I see behind me. Deputy Majority Whip Cindy Bass. Councilmember Curtis Jones. Councilmember Mike Driscoll. Councilmember Kitsy Lozada. Councilmember Anthony Phillips. Councilmember Brian O'Neill, Councilmember Jimmy Harity, and Councilmember Nina Hamad. Thank you for your commitment to delivering a project that Philadelphia deserves. But there are other people that spend a lot of time and effort and energy. The labor unions and to all our stakeholders, but not limited to the Philadelphia Building Trades led by my friend Ryan Boyer. Thank you, Ryan. Eastern Region Council of Carpenters led by Bill Spruill. The African American Chamber of Commerce, led by Regina Hairston. SEIU 32BJ, led by Gabe Morgan. The Black Clergy of Philadelphia and Vicinity, led by Bishop Felton. The NAACP Philadelphia chapter, led by Catherine Hicks. Culture Changing Christians, led by Pastor Carl Day. And a special thank you to Mark Lynch and TJ LaPera at IBEW Local 98. Mark and TJ were our most vocal supporters. They were the first to put up their hands and led the charge to make sure council chambers were filled. It's very important that we acknowledge these stakeholders and key constituents by name, because each of them supported our proposal to keep our Sixers in Philadelphia. In closing, I want to thank the people of Philadelphia for expressing their views, both in support and opposition. Thank you for letting us share our plans with you. A lot of people worked very hard to make the best decision here. We all worked tirelessly, and we will continue to work hard to build a state-of-the-art facility for our team, our fans, and to repay Philadelphia simultaneously with both brotherly love and important efforts to do right by our city and Market East. Madam Mayor, I understand this process has been challenging and unexpected. Together, we will make Philadelphia proud, creating an even better fan experience, more jobs, and economic development. I assure you that in the end, we will not only feel proud, but deeply gratified that we've contributed to restoring Market East to its former glory and building the best arena in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you. By now, Philadelphia, but wait, before we get here, we have been joined by some more of our partners, and I am proud that Keith Jones, the president, and Danny Briere, the general manager of the Flyers, are here. Give them a round of applause. Thank you so very much for being present. Philadelphia, you know me, and I love empowering the tool of transparency. And when I heard about this news, I had been in Washington, D.C. With my team, literally recruiting, trying to find talent from HUD, Mr. President, to help us with housing and technology and infrastructure. And but I also had an opportunity during that time to meet with a dynamic woman, Mayor Muriel Bowser in Washington, D.C. And during our conversations, we had an opportunity to share our recent experiences. And if you're anything like me, and I'm sure the Council President, because we worked in government and politics for so long, it's important to know what people say about you when you are not in the room. And I will dare say to you that Josh Harris, when speaking with Mayor Muriel Bowser about her engagement with you and the partnership the two of you developed as it related to the commanders, she said something to me that I greatly appreciate and value. She said, if you get a chance to work with him, It will benefit your city, because one thing I can tell you about Josh Harris is that he's a man of his word and he loves to win. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Josh Harris.
So first of all, thank you, Mayor Parker. Excuse me, I have a cold. It's been a long night. Thank you for your leadership today and always. Much appreciated. And look, I think this is a super exciting day for the city. Thank you for fighting for Philly and for your incredible dedication to working with us through the expected and frankly unexpected twists and turns of this project. When we began this process, our goal was to do something the city of Philly could be proud of, to do the best thing for our fans and for the citizens, and to have the greatest positive impact. When we began meeting with Comcast in earnest, and obviously we were going a different direction than Comcast, but when we began meeting with Comcast in earnest, over the last 2 weeks, we both saw an opportunity, something even bigger than we had planned. HBSE's new partnership with Comcast ensures Philadelphia will now benefit from 2 developments instead of 1. At the sports complex, we will work together to build the very best arena in the country, a home for the Sixers and the Flyers that will bring the most exciting concerts and events to South Philly all year. And in Center City, HBSE and Comcast can work with the city and community to help revitalize Market East. Both of our organizations love this city, and together we can do incredible things, both at Market East and in the Arena District in South Philly. I want to thank everyone who supported the effort. We're all on the same page in government, in community, and labor. You stood arm in arm with us and are true champions of this city. It's not really known that well, but my grandfather was a U.S. postal worker from Philly. My mom went to Temple University. She taught typing in the Philly high schools. My dad went to Penn. We're now 3 generations at Penn, and this city means a great deal to me. On behalf of HBSE's co-chair, David Blitzer, and myself, I want to especially acknowledge and thank our partner, David Edelman. Where are you, David? Did he sit down? He invested countless hours working to create something special for the city of Philly. No one loves Philly more than David Edelman. Thank you, David, for your leadership and your partnership. In addition, thank you, Brian. Brian, look, we went different ways. We've come back together. I think it's amazing. I'm so happy to be standing with you. We're going to do great things. The journey to the best solution doesn't always go in a straight line, but I am certain that today we have found an incredibly positive solution for Philly, and now it's time to get to work. We really appreciate you all.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Josh, thank you so very much. Now I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing someone who has long been not just a business leader and a civic leader in the city of Philadelphia, as the leader of one of the largest employers here in the city of Philadelphia, but quite frankly, someone long before today who I've often referred to is a citizen in chief in the city of Philadelphia. He is no stranger to doing big things in our city. And as I have traveled to Atlanta to look at their headquarters, I've saw some space in Los Angeles. It's clear that the priority for Comcast is the city of Philadelphia. When I did hear the news about the partnership, I will tell you, and I want to be very transparent, Brian, your leadership and involvement, credibility and reputation, not just secondhand for me, but what I know for certain and for sure because of my own experience, it gave me a sense of calm, that Comcast will be an essential partner as we work to see all of this move forward for the betterment of the city. My friend Tom Reed is not here on today, but he has very much been a trusted advisor to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together for Bryant Roberts, Chairman and CEO of Comcast.
Thank you for those lovely remarks, and to the team all assembled here. Josh, thank you, and David, and Dan Hilferty, my partner in crime, along with Tom, and many, many others. I look around the room, I see people that have helped Comcast, support Comcast, and help us think through important moments like this. So I'm going to scrap my prepared remarks and just speak a little bit as if my dad were here. So my dad, Josh, you made me think of that when you talked about your roots in Philadelphia. My dad started Comcast in 1963. My mom lived to almost 99. Many of you have seen her on her show, Seeking Solutions, and in her actors, and all of my 5 members of my family that my parents had, and then my kids and my wife, we've lived here our whole lives. And Philadelphia is home, as you said. Many people have tried to lure us out of Philadelphia. When we did AT&T, my dad and I were strongly encouraged to move the headquarters, and that was a deal breaker. So as we saw this situation truly unraveling, and I think about my whole life going to South Philly and the Phillies, the Eagles, and in this case, the 76ers and the Flyers always being in the same building, and what that's meant for our city, from the Spectrum to the Wells Fargo, what could be possible, we tried again harder. And our partnership with Adam Silver and the NBA was just fortuitous. Wow. That the NBA is coming back to NBC and Peacock. So the NBA on NBC was iconic for many, many years. And as we build NBC all the time, bringing it back was a huge milestone. And so when the opportunity, and a lot of our friends in the city, in the government, and the mayor, and the governor, and many others all along this process have said we ought to really put Philadelphia first. And so as I think about that moment, and when we had an opportunity to visit with Josh and his team, we both got to what I think is the right place. We have really 2 projects, not one. We're going to, in many ways, it's 4 projects, because we're going to have, I think, a world-class arena. We're super excited to work together. Both teams will have equal stake. We'll work together to envision what the work the Sixers have already done. We have the best arena. Now, we thought the timing should be a little later, but over the next 30, 40 years, many decades, doesn't matter when we start, so we're willing to do it now. We can do bigger, better, faster. And this can be done even faster. The opportunity to then use that as a launch pad to expand South Philadelphia to the Battery, Philadelphia's version, and work with John and others at Stan Hilferty's really, with a lot of people, have a vision for over a long period of time what that can mean to our city and to invest there. And then I was recently at an opening in Market East area of a new hospital, and the neighborhood needs a vibrancy. Yes. And the Sixers have been right about that. And David and Josh and David Blitzer, they recognize that. And they care about Philadelphia, as we've heard. So we said, okay, that's another project. Now that's going to require thought and starting over, but we're committed to that. And Comcast campus, as we know, is 10 blocks away or less. And we've got, from the Four Seasons to the Technology Center to the Comcast headquarters and our holiday show, which had record viewing this year, we want to imagine our city with a vibrancy, with economic development, and with vision, and your vision. And so a chance to invest as a small minority of the Sixers, but to be really unified on this journey with the Sixers was important. And the fan experience will just be reimagined. And even though we've made investments in Wells Fargo, I've been around other buildings in the country and seen what's happening. It's going to be exciting. So all of that is by way of saying this is a very special day. I think as we look forward, Comcast, you have all the resources of the company to help all of those developments. And then the icing on the cake is we're working together to bring the WNBA to Philadelphia, which I think could be amazing as well. So, you know, I agree, it's not always a straight line. Josh, thank you for staying with it and being open-minded. That's not easy. And David, to you and all the work you've done, we're going to hopefully do our part to make this successful and great and look to the long term and help this city. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Brian, for those remarks. Brian ended on the potential for a WNBA. I don't want anyone leaving this room saying the city of Philadelphia has been granted a WNBA team. That is not true. It would not be factual. But I think what you have heard here on today is that with both the Sixers and Comcast vested and with the shared desire to see Philadelphia have a WNBA team, I think it just strengthens our position to what we talked about earlier, Mr. President, sort of build a campaign and work to advocate for. And we couldn't talk about bringing a WNBA team to Philadelphia without acknowledging the women who I started working with. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was Alex and Wanda Sykes, Starla Crandall, and Ashley Lunkheimer. Alex, are you going to come and speak on behalf of the group? Or Wanda, both of you. All right, give them a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Mayor, President, all of the other distinguished guests. It is definitely an honor and a privilege to be here. As the mayor stated, I've been a long-time WNBA fan since its existence. I would watch the game, I would attend the games. Once I had season tickets for the Sparks, and Los Angeles, we love you, we're praying for you. I'll be back this week. So like I said, we've been a big fan, and my wife would watch the games, and she would always ask me, you know, why isn't there a team in Philadelphia? How come there's not a team in Philadelphia? You know, and she asked me so much, and I said, well, why don't you make it happen? And that's when I learned, don't challenge my wife. Because the next thing I knew, she enlisted our good friends, Ashley Luckenheimer and Starla Crandall, and Ashley, who is a native Philadelphian. So she knew we needed that because we know how y'all are. And then next she told me to call Kevin Hart to make me legit, I guess. So that all happened, and Ashley also knew that to get anything done, we needed the support of the city. And that's when we met at that time, Councilwoman Parker. And the enthusiasm and the fire you see today is the same energy that she gave us back in 2021. It was 2021. And she immediately hooked us up with other council members and state senators, all the way up to the governor. At that time was Governor Wolf. So we had the support of the city. We were running with this thing, and now we needed the money. So that's when the businesswoman, Alex, took over.
So yeah, basically we worked, hundreds of hours, tried to get, the people together, sponsors and investors, to join the movement and the values, we all long for. And eventually we met, with David Edelman, that was very supportive from the beginning, and just promoting, this women's team here in Philadelphia, and eventually brought, along the 76ers. So thank you for that. And as we were looking for sponsors, Comcast, kind of made sense. And eventually, Comcast, not eventually, from the beginning as well, the team was always there supporting the women, supporting our movement, our team, and the values to be there for us and promote, our team to happen. And so thank you, Comcast, as well. And as of right now, I don't think we can dream of a better team together, the city, the mayor, the city of Philadelphia, Comcast, the 76ers, to promote, a women's team, and hopefully we're gonna make it. So we are loving the city.
Yeah, as the mayor said, I don't think our odds could be any more favorable than the position we're in right now. Like I said, with the support of the mayor, this amazing team, Governor Shapiro. So just thank you, and this is just such an amazing day. And go Birds. Sorry, Josh.
Hey, Wanda, you may not be a native Philadelphian, but when that go Birds, you know what it means to be here in our city. Again, honor, and a privilege. Now let me say to Commissioner Silver, Commissioner, we know you have to drop. Thank you so very much for being here with us, and we'll follow up with you to let you know how things turn out, on today. Now for the council president, and I, let me just start by saying, Philly, this is a lot. This is a curveball that none of us saw coming, but nevertheless, we are here. As the council president and I, we've been talking around the clock for the last 72 hours. Yes, of course, thinking about all of the time, the energy, the sacrifices, again, the passionate advocacy of the resilient people of Philadelphia, no matter what side they were on, to let us know what they thought about this proposal. The council president and I, as the mayor and the council president, the CEO and chair of the board of directors, along with the members of council, members of the board of directors, we needed to make sure we had as the foundation for our decision-making one thing that we always have to put in front of any other consideration, and that is the fiscal stability of the city of Philadelphia. I don't care how passionate you are about either side of the spectrum on the original proposal, we have to be concerned about making sure Philadelphia is on sound fiscal footing. I want to quickly take you back to what, Mr. President, I think when I announced my support for the arena, after all of the due diligence, all of the homework, all of the travel, communicating with you, I described it as an historic deal and the best arena deal we had ever entered into in the city of Philadelphia's history. And I will affirm to each of you on today that there is nothing about that statement that is untrue right now. I love Bryant's statement. This position allows us to do more. So the investment is bigger, it can be better, and it can get done faster. But we were talking about a $1.3 billion private sector investment for an arena that required no taxpayer subsidy. Important to note. $60 million community benefits agreement with a $20 million commitment from the city of Philadelphia to Chinatown as it related to affordable housing, and the pilot with a slew of investments in public education and a number of other activities. So it's important to say that. But now we're here. So, and Mr. President, this is what I was thinking. As the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, our CEO, I don't have the luxury of waddling in this 180. This is a celebration for the city because also, Josh and Bryant, I started thinking about some of the press conference some other mayors and council presidents have had to have in some other cities to stand up and affirm that one of their major sports teams was leaving their city and their cities would have to learn how to survive. And then I thought about our partnership in making the city of Philadelphia safe, clean, green, economic opportunity for all, that one Philly, a united city. And I said, we are not in a position to be able to lose revenue. So this could be a bad day for Philadelphia if we were announcing, for example, Josh, that you and the team had decided, you, David, and David had decided that you were moving to Jersey. like that darn training center that shouldn't be over there. We'll work on that, Senator Hughes, right? But we could be here. But Josh, because of your leadership, your commitment to our city, David Edelman, and Brian and Comcast, we stand here today being able to accomplish everything that we set out to do when we started this journey. What does that mean? We talked about a revival of Market Street that would occur from City Hall down to the river, and nothing about that commitment has changed, except we will now fast track the master planning and begin that process immediately. And for those of you who are familiar with the CBA, that investment wasn't set to kick in until 2032. We will now get moving with getting that RFP out and beginning that master planning process that, of course, will involve significant community-based input. That will happen. Because, Mr. President, I'm committed before you and I leave here in these roles, we're going to fill that Disney hole. Where is it located? I forget where the Disney hole is located, but we're going to fill it here on our watch and bring life back to Philadelphia's first historic commercial quarter. Second thing that we committed to doing, and thinking of East Market Street, we talked about Chinatown, that $20 million commitment, we will make good on that commitment. So no one needs to question that. That's important. Just because this partnership comes and, now that the arena will be built in South Philly, nothing about that commitment changes. The South Philly arena. John Middleton, Dan Hilferty, I don't remember who else was on that tour. But before we made our decision to support it, we were going to Atlanta for the Conference of Mayors. They said, well, if you're going to Atlanta, come to our headquarters, and then we want to take you on a tour. Brett, you'll remember this meeting. I said, okay. We get down there in Philadelphia. If you don't know your mayor by now, you should know your mayor. I get to the headquarters. This is amazing, but, Comcast, but our headquarters, I love it better, right? Then John Middleton introduces us to the Braves leadership, and I think the gentleman's name who was the master leader in plan, I think his name was Jeremy for some. Terry. So Terry, but Jeremy was the staff leader, and he led us on a walk through the Battery. Philadelphia, if you've never been there to see it yourself in person, it's worth a Google search to see what the potential for our uniquely positioned stadium district, along with Hillco, Bellwether, FDR Park, and look, and everything is in Council President Johnson's district, so he's not only the president, but he's the district council member there as well. You will see that this opportunity is packed with potential. And when I saw it in real time, I immediately said to John Middleton, and Dan, I don't know if you remember this, I said, why don't we have our own Battery in the city of Philadelphia right now? And that's when Dan and John proceeded to say, that's why the Sixers shouldn't leave. That's why we should all stay together, so we could have our own Battery when they were making. Listen, this is truth. It's what occurred. We have the potential to do that here. You heard the conversation about the WNBA. Now I want to talk about the partners. I'm thinking about, and I want to get this right. The janitors, the cleaning staff, the security officers, the parking workers, the building engineers, members of SEIU, union workers who now have good paying union jobs here in the heart of Center City, earning a living wage, health care, and retirement security. You're not here, Mr. President, who you've long been a leader and a champion for. I'm thinking about the concession workers, the food service workers, the retail workers, the entire hospitality industry here. And if we're forward thinking of what the potential of growing that industry looks like for the city of Philadelphia. I'm thinking about Ryan Boyer and the building trades. I'm thinking about Bill Sproul and the carpenters. I'm thinking about Clark Rosie's girl and the Sam Staten apprenticeship program. This wasn't just about building an arena. This was about access to economic for opportunity for all that would help to put Philadelphians who have long not had access to these opportunities on a path to self-sufficiency. You will hear from the president himself, we have talked nothing about that changes. The EOP numbers, Mr. President, we started one where when we were working on this agreement, by the time it got down to you, those numbers went up to your live numbers, 50%. Nothing about that sort of stops. This is what does happen, because someone asked me this coming in. Well, when are you all going to introduce the legislation? And when, Bryant, thank you so very much for affirming that we're going to be very methodical. And no one should expect us to be introducing anything today, tomorrow, not until the same amount of homework that you had saw us do on the Market East project, for us to negotiate a pilot, because everything is null and void. We have to renegotiate a pilot. That is what the tax revenue will be and realize for the school district of Philadelphia and both the city of Philadelphia. We have to renegotiate what a community benefits agreement will look like. We have to go, and again, as the district council person, go through all of the land use needs that will be needed there. So we have a lot of homework and a lot of due diligence to do before we get the ball rolling, but I don't want anyone. I'm thinking about the black clergy of Philadelphia and vicinity, Bishop Felton and all of the ministers, my pastor, Alan Wilder, Lonnie Herndon. I mean, people who invested time, Pastor Mason, who invested time and energy talking to their congregations in the city of Philadelphia, because again, this was a very intense discussion, but keeping that chart, thank you so much for bringing my chart here. For anyone who's wondering what drives us, this is the chart that shows out of $5 billion of in the revenue that it took for FY25 to run this city, 67% of it comes from taxes. So for anybody who says, wink, wink, nod, nod, oh, just let the Sixers go, you do that math and let me know whether or not the city was in a position to lose over $500,000 per game in revenue in multiple sources and growing if we bring more people into the city of Philadelphia in the hospitality industry. I'm thinking about all of our chambers. Councilwoman Ketsi Lozada is here. She rumbled hard for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce led by Jennifer Rodriguez, all of the ethnic chambers. Nothing that we did is going to be in vain. This is a good day for Philadelphia. Big gulp, yes. Big gulp, absolutely. Curveball, but let me tell you something. The news could have been different on today, and I don't have the luxury as the mayor to allow my pride, my ego, or my emotions to drive my decision making. I am driven by that revenue, and I made a commitment, a personal commitment. Safe, clean, green, economic opportunity for all. Right now, what are we going to be doing? We got a budget, Mr. President, that we have to work on right now. We also are going to work on housing. If people want to know what's on the agenda right now, 30,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia, the building of new, the preservation of existence, public, affordable, workforce, market rate, single-family dwelling, mixed use, veterans, seniors, you name it, we're working on putting together the plan in order to make it happen. But I'm grateful. And I needed to say this, and I needed to be transparent because I've been, what do you call it when they don't allow you to watch the news? Is it encumbered? I haven't been able to watch the news or sequestered, is that it, Mr. President? They've had me sequestered in the bunker over the last 72 hours, so I couldn't look at social media. I haven't been able to read the papers. Philadelphia, our decision-making was not in vain. I will argue to you that had I as mayor and Council President Johnson as the legislative leader, along with all 12 members of council who had the courage to put that revenue, to allow that to drive their decision-making, we would not be here right now. We're resilient. We're going to always come back stronger than we were before. And Josh, as you said, I'm really ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work. Put your hands together for my partner, and I can't be successful if he and I are not joined at the hip, Council President Kenyatta Johnson.
And so, to my mayor, the city of Philadelphia, let's give our Mayor Sherelle Parker a real big round of applause for her leadership. And I want to thank Josh Harris and David Blitzer and Brian Roberts for actually showing up today, as well as David Edelman and all the other partners on this particular project. Today is still a win for the city of Philadelphia. When I woke up this morning, Sherelle, I was, I'm a spiritual person. I'm talking to my Lord, and, the scripture came up and said, all things, not some things, all things work together for those who love the Lord. And why I say this is a win-win, from day one, the goal was to making sure we keep the Sixers in the city of Philadelphia. That's right. Now, some folks say they was pump faking, right? I know a little bit about business, though. Somebody put $800 million in front of you, you have to take that seriously, right? And then I start thinking when I'm in the neighborhood, and I don't know who y'all was listening to, but when I'm in South Philly and Point Breeze, they said, don't lose no Sixers. That's right. We may not reelect you. And so for me, it sounds better to have the Philadelphia 76ers than the New Jersey 76ers. And so, but also the goal was making sure we revitalize Market Street East. And so I do say hats off to Comcast and Brian Roberts and David Blitzer, Josh Harris and David Edelman for coming together. Yes. Now, some people may or may not notice, these two corporate giants been fighting back and forth throughout this process. I would talk to Dan, and when Dan would come to my office with my good friend Rob Murray, I better give them an offer they can't refuse. And so we would talk and go back and forth throughout this legislative process. But I recognize because we have a partnership to still focus on revitalizing Market Street East, this is a process of addition and not subtraction. Now we have two economic development projects taking place instead of one, right? And so I'm also getting up this morning, John, and I'm talking to my Lord, and then he also said Ephesians 7:8, right? And it talks about sometime the end is better than the beginning. Wow. Well, what does that mean? Yeah, we started off with a proposal to go downtown, right? Yeah. But this is a win-win because Plan B is better than Plan A. That's right. Now we're going to double the revenue, right? We still focus on making sure Black and brown and women-owned businesses have a seat at the table in the stadium that will be built in South Philadelphia, as well as the projects that will take place along East Market Street. That mission still has remained the same. Making sure young Black men have an opportunity, Mr. Boyd, to participate in the building trades. That's still the same mission. Making sure Black and brown and women-owned businesses also have an opportunity to participate in the professional services contracts that will take place in that new arena in South Philadelphia. So today is a win for the city of Philadelphia. We'll have that opportunity, and people are going to say, well, let's play Monday morning quarterback, Mr. Mayor. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Right. All I asked, though, I only asked this one thing, right? Just one small statement. I wish y'all could have got the deal done before we actually started the process. And here's why. We don't regret. My members and I do not regret.
All of us do, by the way.
My members and I do not regret the 8 hearings, the thousands of going back and forth, asking questions with our tech team and getting responses. This is separate from the administration's process. This is the members of council process. But I wouldn't be prouder of those 12 members that stepped up to the plate
That's right.
and said this is what's in the best interest of the city of Philadelphia. So please give my members a real big round of applause. And I also recognize that when you talk about win-wins, yeah, there were concerns that we legitimately had to take a look at. When you talk about the displacement of those who live in Chinatown, right? That was a concern that individuals had. When you talk about the impact of this particular arena project on SEPTA, that was concerns that individuals had. But this deal shows that at the end of the day, we have always need to make sure that we're working toward moving the city of Philadelphia forward. And so for me, I feel good. Some folks thought I was going to come in with my face all twisted. And we want to continue to make sure we're advocating to not only build generational wealth, but if we're going to erase the moniker of being the largest poor city in America, we have a commitment to erase that moniker while we work together and make sure we're providing economic development opportunities for the people in this great city of Philadelphia. And listen, as a district council person, I've worked on many development deals, and I know how things work. But at the end of the day, we have to always make sure we're advocating and making sure we're putting the people first. And so we look forward to this partnership. Me and my team in City Council will make sure we continue to work in partnership with our mayor to do our due diligence. Do our due diligence on any proposals that are put forth in front of us, but most importantly, just making sure that we're advocating and doing everything that we can do to move the city of Philadelphia forward. So, Mayor, let's continue to keep doing our jobs to move this great city forward. Appreciate you, sis.
Thank you. Well, happy that we are here today, but one of the things that you have often heard me talk about is this long word, and it's really easy to describe, that we can't be successful in the city of Philadelphia without this thing called intergovernmental cooperation and planning. Now, when we started this project, we were very clear. It was not a shock. It was not a surprise to us. Governor Shapiro was very clear in affirming to us, listen, I support wholeheartedly what you all are trying to do on East Market Street, the East Market Street revival, the infrastructure investment on East Market Street. And I know you all will be coming soon to make the ask. And we planted the seed with can you scoot over here so people can see you just for a second? Our Appropriations Chairman, Senator Hughes, in the Senate, our Appropriations Chairman Harris in the House, our Speaker Joanna McClinton. I see our Senator Sharif Street here, and we had already laid the foundation that we were coming. We knew the ask could not be for an investment in the arena directly because the governor had been absolutely clear about that. But from day one, I don't care if you were talking about that battery concept and the potential of that South Philadelphia region in Council President Johnson's area, thinking about the sports district along with Bellwether and Hill Cove. Mr. President, I talked about what we have at FDR Park, there, just the port, just the opportunity for growth, but 95 is there, and little old Philadelphia would not have been able to, in a million years, attempt to work on that alone. We would have needed significant state revenue in order to get that done, and I need to publicly affirm for the record and say thank you, Governor Josh Shapiro, for being our partner on day one and committing to do, Gov, what you always do, and that is to get things done. With that being said, now we want to make sure we take some questions, and I think Jeff is here. Jeff Cole, where are you? Okay, Jeff Cole.
Mayor, what convinces you that there will be development in Market East? The Sixers for 2.5 years said they would do it, and in 2 weeks of conversation, they backed away. And if they talked for only 2 weeks, why were you notified just this weekend?
Let me just say this. I can't, think about what's behind me. This is what I can tell you about looking forward. Because again, as you heard me state, I don't have the luxury of allowing my pride, ego, and emotions to allow me to waddle in this moment. I can't do that. But what makes me wholeheartedly believe that the commitment is there is formally a 50-50 commitment to the development or building of a new arena in the stadium district, but also a vehicle to work solely on Market Street East. Now, Mr. President, I don't want to, I'm not going to go back to any past administration. I'm not going to do that. The only thing I can say to you, Philadelphia, for those of you who are lifelong like me, you remember Wanamaker's. You remember Strawbridges. You may remember Lit Brothers. You may remember Gimbals. You may remember J.C. Penney's. And if you're like me, it was a big deal to go get a hot dog at Woolworths and sit at the counter. We are long past those moments. That was another time. Here we have an opportunity to build in another era, East Market Street that none of us could have imagined. 2026 is coming. We can start sooner. So the belief in, again, the partners who are here, they have formally formed these partnerships. And again, I can't speak enough about Bryant Roberts and Comcast and Josh Harris, with HSB. We're going to be able to get this done. And listen, this is what's extremely important. We have to start the planning process. Remember that master planning process for East Market Street, Jeff, that was long a part of what we needed to get done, but that wasn't scheduled to be funded until 2032. Now, City of Philadelphia gets the opportunity to lead that effort in making sure we get started immediately in doing that. Councilmember Mark Squilla, when we talk, Council President, that's a brightness at the end of the tunnel for this, and I wholeheartedly believe that, again, they're going to make good on that. But, Jeff, guess what? We have to get a proposal. We don't have a proposal in front of us right now. We know what we agreed to, and this is the great thing about doing what you hear me refer to as homework. We didn't make a knee-jerk reaction. We traveled across this country visiting arenas. That's why we knew what we needed to do with who the community benefits agreement was entered into with. And we wouldn't allow it to be just a community-based organization that could get bogged down in legal maneuvers. We made sure it was with the City of Philadelphia. So I'm confident that we will get there, but we have to get a proposal to review. Ernest Owens? Ernest, I really, really appreciate that question. I want to stroll back to something you heard me say a few seconds ago, and that is we start from scratch with everything. We have to negotiate the pilot, school district, and City of Philadelphia funding, and we also have to negotiate a community benefits agreement. And the great thing is that because we've already went through this process, that's what over the last 72 hours, I think after the first 24, by the time we got to maybe the 25th hour, we have been saying, well, this is a good thing. We have already done that homework. When you look at the work that I'm thinking about Nicole and our city solicitors working in conjunction with the president's team, John Christmas, and others, and how we were able to move as it related to that EOP and council to get to those numbers. You heard the president talk about it, the professional professional services. The people talked about the building trades, and this is what I want to get on the record about the building trades. This was important to me, Ryan and Sam, and I think I see Mungo here from the carpenters. People said, well, you know, it doesn't matter. The building trades come out on top no matter what, because they're still going to build. I thought to myself when I heard that, how short-sighted. Because if you thought that that's what this was all about, you didn't pay attention to what we negotiated. This was about developing opportunities for the next generation of skilled workers to be a part of the building trade. So this was CARP. This was Rosie's Girls. This was the apprenticeship training opportunities. Thinking about the internship program, HBCUs that were a part of it. So while we have to go back to the drawing board, the great thing now is that no one has to guess. No one should guess or act like they don't understand what the priorities are. Snell, I'm looking at you. You know, because we just negotiated it. So you should use that as a framework for what you know we will already ask for. And quite frankly, for Brian and for Josh, we use that as the opportunity. And David Adelman, again, he was chief at the table with us. He knows clearly in the team what's important to us, and we won't shy away from any of those commitments. That was a very good question. Yes, Lauren? Lauren, I'm going to get you. Go ahead. Yes. Absolute one. Let me start with the second question first. Absolutely nothing interferes with the timeline of us getting our budget passed on time. We're not like other cities who have, but we're not like other cities who can, have as much time as we want to pass a budget. We have a deadline, and we will meet that deadline. In addition to that, and this is when planning and communication becomes extremely valuable. Our focus on housing has been a day one commitment. We've been talking about this and working on this with stakeholders moving over the last year. We've been here a year and 20 days or something. We've already been working on that, so nothing about that will stop. The value of the CBA. I mean, this is Philadelphia. We were talking about one team, and one arena on Market Street. And so that was one team, but now, and I guess to put this in concept, and I don't want anybody to think that she's romanticizing what this battery looks like in Atlanta. You have to see it, because in my mind, so John Middleton, I hate this, I'm going to be straight. I was thinking, yeah, well, the Atlanta Braves are doing this, and that's just one baseball team. But if we did have the Sixers and the Flyers and the Eagles and the Phillies all together, we're going to put this, I'm not going to tell you what else I said, we're going to build our own battery. It's going to be the best battery in the world. Well, now we're talking about 4 teams in a much grander scale. This is retail, this is housing, this is healthcare, this is a potential live entertainment center. This is a community, a destination that people will come to once you see the battery and I'm a visual learner, so you always hear me talk about you have to see it. You don't have to enjoy sports at all or be a Braves fan to go enjoy the battery. That's what we're going to do. So will it be 60 million? We're talking about 4 teams. This is a whole different ball game and a whole nother level. Yes, ma'am. Liz, thank you. Yes. Tell me your name again. Liz, thank you so very much for that question. It's a very important one. Liz, when I ran for office and I asked people of the city of Philadelphia to give me a chance to be their CEO, the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, first woman, 100th mayor in 341 years. I told them something on the trail. I traveled across this city to neighborhoods, no matter the race, class, socioeconomic status. I wasn't a chameleon. My message stayed the same. I'm prepared to meet this moment. I'm going to be ready on day one. When I think about the kind of black swan events that other mayors across this nation are dealing with right now, Mayor Karen Bass in Los Angeles, I'm thinking about LaToya Cantrell and what she just experienced in New Orleans. I'm thinking about Michael Nutter and what President Barack Obama called the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. I'm thinking about Mayor Kenney and a global COVID-19 pandemic that no one, I don't care how brilliant you were, you would not have been able to control for. I'm prepared to meet this moment. Now, did I know? Was I at the meeting before the meeting to say that this negotiation was going to take place? Absolutely not. But guess what? I'm still the CEO of this city. My job is to develop East Market Street, to see a new arena, to build that battery, to grow the next generation of skilled workers, to make sure SEIU and Unite here is put to work. And I'm going to hold 10 more. I'm going to hold 10 more town hall meetings when they finally get the plan, while the council president and his team are working on the hearings. Y'all will be going through the legislative process, and they're going to say, oh, Lord, here comes this long-winded, loud-talking mayor once again. You want me to tell you why? And I mean this. I'm being facetious, but you see that chart? You see that chart? Other people who don't have to worry about the city's revenue-generating capacity, they can talk about making decisions based on emotions. That revenue has to drive me. A living wage has to drive me. Negotiating multi-year contracts for our municipal unions who deserve it, that's why we can't, act as if we're not concerned about that revenue, because all of that is what we depend on in order to run this city. So it's going to be an interesting process. And we've talked about that as we move forward, right? That was diplomatic, Mr. President. It'll be an interesting process, but guess what? We are partners, and this is about the future. I'll let other people, what did you call it, Monday? Monday morning quarterback. I'll let other people in interest Monday morning quarterback about we were pawns in the game. That's what I'm concerned about. And rather than just tell you, we'll show you through what we will deliver. Yeah, Anna, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Yes.
Josh and David, why did you change your mind?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
And this is an incredibly divisive process. Have you regret not going
through it? We didn't really change our mind. Actually, we were really committed to Market East, but obviously when we also had our North Star was doing the right thing by Philly, and when deals don't come together exactly when you want them, and when Comcast and when Brian, Adam Silver said, look, guys, you're fighting, let's try to come together. We felt we could build a better arena. We could also revitalize Market East. And we felt that it was a 1 + 1 = 3 situation, and so we pivoted. We pivoted on behalf of, it's a little more complicated for all of us. Comcast was willing generously, even though they had put in a lot of money into the existing arena to make it great, to move up to their time frame, and all of us made compromises to do the right thing by Philly. And one thing I can tell you, I'll stop there and let others say, but one thing I can tell you about President Johnson and Mayor Parker is they're tough. Like they're going to represent your interests well. So for sure, we're all you can depend on them to do the right thing by the city and to garner everything that we have to support the city. So it wasn't planned, but it happened. First meeting was in early December, and we got we got the mayor involved as soon as we could.
We're going to take one final question. I think I saw Pat Lowe. Pat. So I want, when you hear me talk about the framework for what made the building of that new arena on Market Street and that proposal, what made it historic was that the city of Philadelphia did not have to subsidize the building of the arena, and it was the first time in the history of our city, in the building of an arena or a stadium, that the taxpayers weren't going to have to foot the bill for the building of an arena. So from my perspective, I want all of Philadelphia to use the prior agreement that we just negotiated. I would use that as a foundation to, sort of think about what you can potentially expect and or look for in the future. I want to listen. Thank you all so very much for your patience and staying here with us all day long. It's been a pretty long time, but we are grateful and we're ready to move forward. Excuse me, right now, we have to memorialize this moment, so I'm going to ask everyone. Brian, I want you to come stand next to me. Mr. President and Josh, come on. Jason, I want us all to get together. Come on. Dan, I want Ryan, come on up, please. Ryan, come on here. Yeah.